let's take a minute to go through our plant section 3 textbook together a little bit. They have some really nice pictures that they did a good job of. So we should take a look because not all of us have microscopes at home, like any of us. And we definitely don't have the stains and dyes that are needed to make certain pictures here. Okay, so in this picture we have a lilac leaf. Okay, and it's showing some mesophyll tissue and the vascular tissue. Okay, so that's like the veins of the plant that's going to carry water nutrients. Cool, huh? Okay, so when we're learning about plants, okay, we have quite a few vocabulary terms. Anytime you have bold words, you need to know what that is. Okay, so when you learn about body systems, okay, you learn that we have like the circulatory system, for example. Okay, so our circulatory system is an organ system, and the heart would be an organ, okay, and the veins, that's important too, okay, and we have different kinds of tissues, like if we're doing the digestive system, you have stomach tissue, liver tissue, intestines, those kinds of things. Okay, with plants, there's two main systems. Okay, one is the root system, which is the roots, okay, and then the shoot system, that's everything on top of the roots. Okay, so roots and shoots. And it's kind of a fun fact, that's the name of Jane Goodall's, the company, okay, environmental program. Okay, so what's a tuber? That's a potato. Okay, tubers are swollen stems that store food, like potatoes, so they're there, potatoes. Okay, and those are kind of the key points for this page. Okay, one of the pictures at the top here talks about Euglena. Okay, so there are some plants that are only one cell. Okay, phytoplankton. Phyto has to do with light. Zooplankton has to do with animals. Okay, there's tiny little creatures that make oxygen. Algae, for one. And then there's humongous plants like these large pole pines. The biggest tree in the planet, as far as I know, if we might have cut it down by now, but hopefully not. It's called General Sherman. Fun fact. Okay, this is another lovely picture. Okay, let's have a look. So in grade 7, you did plants for food and fiber, and I'm sure you remember every single little detail. Okay, and some of the things you focused on was roots, shoots. Okay, you learned about leaves. You learned a lot about the structure of a flower in grade 7 and grade 9. Okay, so things like pistil, stigma, stamen, pollen, anther, ovule, pollen tube. Okay, so hopefully some of those ring a bell. Unfortunately, we don't get to talk a lot about plant reproduction in this particular grade, but that doesn't mean you can't learn about it. So go ahead and spend more time learning about flowers because they're beautiful and very functional. Okay, we're focusing mostly on the leaves and how do we get water into the roots. Okay, so this picture that you can't see, there you go. Okay, and that one is showing a cross section of a leaf. You're like, oh, what now? Okay, so if you cut a leaf, right, so use a little slicey, and you look at it on the side. Okay, so let's pretend this is a leaf. Okay, you're looking at it this way, right? So it's actually quite thin. So if you zoom in, the top part of your leaf, I should go get one, is an epidermis. So there's a top layer and a bottom layer, just like how you have with your skin. Okay, you have epidermis in skin, same thing. Okay, and these cells at the top, that's your mesophyll tissue. Okay, that's where the photosynthesis is going to take place, which makes sense. It's at the top, right? It's facing the sun. Okay, and rather than waste room at the top of the leaf for breathing, okay, a plant puts its mouth underneath the leaf. Okay, so we have a mouth that brings in oxygen and breathes out carbon dioxide for us. A plant has, where's my pointer? I need a pointer. Okay, a plant has these little holes called stoma. So just like we have like lips that open close our mouth, okay, guard cells open and close the stoma. Stoma is one, stomata is more than one. Okay, and so that's what these little bean-shaped things are is the guard cells. The whole is the stoma. So what goes in and out of there is oxygen as a waste product during the day from photosynthesis, and carbon dioxide goes in, and the opposite is true at nighttime or on cloudy days, okay, where cellular respiration takes place instead. Okay, so within these veins, within that vascular tissue, we have xylem that carries water and phloem, which carries sugar. Okay, so xy high, phlo low. This carries water up the plant, and phloem carries it mostly down the plant. We've got some air spaces, right, for diffusion to take place into those mesophyll parts of our tissue. In your celery that you are going to put in some food coloring, you are going to see these tissues. So in your celery, I shouldn't write in the book, so I'm going to use this. Okay, you're going to have it look like that. Okay, and there's these little circles, and you're going to notice those circles stain a little bit darker. Okay, and same thing has happened here. Okay, so you'll notice that is the transport tissues for the water in the plant. Okay, so that's what this is showing in the stem. Okay, they've cut this piece of the stem, and around the outside, you have, the vascular bundle, they call it. Okay, epidermis, outside layer, ground tissue in the middle. This is another picture, ground tissue, vascular tissue. Okay, so some people like to look at these things under the microscope because it's so interesting. Zoomed in real picture of a leaf. Okay, that's been stained pink, maybe it's a beet. Okay, this is what the top part of the leaf looks like. So you have your epidermis layer up here and your mesophyll tissue here. Okay, this is the underside of a leaf. So these holes we just talked about were stoma is one, stomata more than one, regulated by the guard cells. Okay, and it looks just like a little mouth, right? La la la. One other thing that we didn't mention that goes in and out of your stoma is water vapor. Okay, so transpiration is the word that means water coming out of the cells of the plant. Okay, out of the leaves. So we have roots, shoots, okay, stem, leaves, flower. Okay. Continuing on in with some grade 10 words. Okay, you have meristems, dermal tissue. Okay, dermal, like epidermis, right? Like you go to a dermatologist to have them fix your skin. Okay, that's the outer skin part of your plants. Okay, totally grow this. Okay, really fun. Grab any old seed. I had an avocado. Okay, so you just take a hammer and bash the hard part of the seed open, or a peach. Okay, whatever you have handy, and or put that in with a paper towel in a cup, and put it on the inside so that you can see the seed grow, right? It's quite fun to watch the roots grow. And they put it in dirt, but you actually don't need dirt right off the bat. Okay, seeds just need heat and moisture, like warm, it needs to be warm enough, and moisture to grow. Okay, another word for this unit, gravitropism. So these roots are growing down towards gravity, and plants are really neat. You can actually turn this seed upside down so that the roots are pointing down and the stem is, or the roots are pointing up and the stem is pointing down, and somehow it knows which way up is. So it'll actually start turning and the roots will grow down and the stem will start growing up if it doesn't die. Okay, so positive gravitropism is growing down towards gravity. Negative gravitropism is growing up away from gravity. Another one is phototropism. Okay, so these are like, I don't know, vampires, teenagers, okay, that go away from the light to their basement and dark bedrooms. Okay, and so phototropism has to do with movement and light. Light, tropism probably means movement towards or away from. Okay, so our leaves are going to move towards light. And I don't know if you've ever tried it before, but if you put a leaf in a window, all the leaves will point towards the window, right? And then you turn the whole plant around and it's like, hey, and the leaves will start to grow back towards the window again. Okay, so you're thinking, what's a meristem? I really wanted to know what a meristem was. A meristem is the very tip of the root. Okay, so again, we should write on the book. Okay, so let's say this is the root. Okay, the little, it's like a finger. Okay, the little tip there, that's where the roots go from. Okay, and I'm an excellent artist. Okay, that doesn't want to come off, so we'll just move. Okay, so here's another lovely picture of our cells with root hairs. So root hairs make diffusion better able to happen. Okay, we have more surface area for water to soak in. They've got little itty bitty stomata here, so they look shut. There's guard cells. Okay, this is a nice open stomata. Okay, so that's for water vapor. And light looks a bit like a frog eye to me. Or not light, water vapor and carbon dioxide. Okay, another picture of your xylem and phloem. Okay, let's go back over here to this page. Same vascular tissue again. Okay, it's on the other paper. And we have our vascular system. Okay, so how I remember that is cardiovascular, right? In people, that's our veins and our heart, right? So plants don't have a heart to pump water like we do, and like our blood, but they do have xylem tissue and phloem tissue. Okay, this transports water and minerals from the roots up the stem to the leaves for photosynthesis. Okay, and phloem is for taking the sugars made in the leaves, and here it is. Okay, sugars transported by the phloem are used to provide energy to the rest of the plant. Okay, specifically making cellulose. Okay, not cellulite, that's on your legs. Okay, when you have all the fat in clumps. Okay, cellulose. And that's what we use to make paper. All right, there. Okay, on that section. Okay, guard cell stomata, we talked about that already. Okay, we have our photosynthesis. Okay, I've said before, you might as well just memorize this equation. Okay, so water and carbon dioxide. You need chlorophyll, otherwise it doesn't work. Okay, and you need light from the sun, otherwise it doesn't work. Or you can actually buy some special grow lights now, that'll do the job, so you can grow plants in your basement if you need to. Okay, it makes sugar and oxygen. So in our chemistry unit, we focused on balanced equations, right? So 6 of these, 6 of those. Okay, and we have 6 atoms of carbon, 12 of hydrogen, 6 of oxygen, liquid, gas, aqueous, gas. Okay, so our reactants for photosynthesis is the water and the carbon dioxide. And our plants can eat some delicious light. Love me some sunlight. Okay, and they are going to produce carbon, or what's this called? Sugar and oxygen. Okay, how does that work? Science magic? No, there's a process to it. Okay, and we don't count light and chlorophyll as reactants. Okay, but we do need that energy to do the splitting. So the energy is going to split these molecules apart and recombine them to make sugar and oxygen. Okay, what's this picture have to do with? Oh, okay, here's the opposite, cellular respiration. Okay, so you might have been today old when you learned that plants also need to use energy. Okay, nighttime when there's too much shade. Okay, so it's the same equation that we had before in reverse. Sugar and oxygen react, right? We burn them, combustion. Okay, right? Look at the O, oxygen. Okay, to form carbon dioxide and water vapor. That's the most important part right that page. Okay, some evidence, very interesting. Dermal tissue, they're focusing some more on these stomata. Transpiration, talking about water going outside the leaf. Okay, more about the tissues. More about the tissues. Same picture. More about transport in plants.